Oh, all right, you're up. Yeah, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And right, one way.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by forwarding a copy to the Courier News, Star Ledger, and posting on the Township website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting, all in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting will not substantially go past 9:30 p.m.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Here.
Mrs. Illis?
Yes.
Mr. Machado?
Here.
Mr. Moran?
Present.
Mrs. Pogue? Mayor DeVaney?
I'm here.
Okay, stand for flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible. Okay, right out of the gate, we got a couple of conference sessions that we're gonna take care of. These aren't in any particular order, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna start with summary of the key visioning sessions and community survey. Oh, Ian, all right, come on up, pal. That's why I asked, because he's third. I want to be. Yeah.
To stay,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter.
All right. So you got the floor.
It's first on the agenda.
So for my Eagle Scout project, I'm proposing 3 picnic benches for the property at Littell Lord because there's not very much seating at the property. And the seating they have, like they have a couple of benches over by the pond area, but they aren't really suitable if people want to like sit down and have a meal or eat. So there would be 3 benches, like I said, in between like where the pond and the garden is in that field area. And that would allow people, again, if they want to sit down, eat a meal, they could just spend more time. You can seat more people in that area.
That's a fantastic idea. I'm on the Historic Preservation Committee and we're trying to get the town courthouse back up and running. So that would be fantastic. To bring more people to it. I like that idea. It's great. Thank you.
So with that, it on the presentation? And we ask
Does
questions.
anyone have any questions?
For the record, give us your name on the page, this way the whole audience knows who you are.
Ian Williams.
And And which troop are you in?
368.
Okay. So my two sons are alumni of 368, so welcome, this is great. We've done so many great projects around town. So you note an area for the picnic benches about how, and then in the picture, there's a platform or something that they're gonna sit on, or you're going to build something for them to sit on?
Yeah, so originally I wasn't planning on building it, but at the troop committee meeting, someone brought up the issue of people having to mow in the area. So if that's an issue, I said I'd like to discuss it with you. But if it's like too hard for them to mow, I would build the platform instead and put the picnic benches on top of there.
Can I
So
interject?
one of my questions is, we use that area during the fall festival. And, you know, the question is, the picnic tables will definitely, you know, enhance the area
Yes.
the rest of the year, but a platform, I don't know how it would work.
Well,
I don't think we need a platform for mowing. The mayor's also trying to say something, but her volume, she's waving her hand.
Wave back, hi. She froze.
Go ahead.
She's on mute now.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead,
Okay. I did have an opportunity to speak with Anne's mother, Shauna, and I did assure her that I don't think a platform is necessary. It's something that Ian wasn't really maybe originally anticipating, but subsequently really wouldn't have the time or the bandwidth to do. Plus, I think in chatting a little bit with DPW, it might be easier to whack around
We back around.
without the platform. There's feedback, right?
Yes, no, you're good. You're good now. We can hear you.
Okay.
So that's
Hopefully you heard what I said.
For the mowing purposes, we don't need the platform. They
Okay.
can back around it.
so some people be mobile and be able to move,
Right.
permanently mounted
Yeah.
in the ground, it's a great idea. What's your timeline?
I would plan to start, I still have to get approval from like BSA, like council. So I would plan to start sometime like within the next month over the summer and hopefully be done by summer ends, so before school.
I can give you a target date if you want.
Okay.
October 18th, that's when the festival is, so there's your target date if you want.
So how many picnic tables are you talking about?
For now, just 3, but like depending on what people want, I might be able to do more, but right now I've planned for 3, like I did the budget, found out how much it would cost for that.
And how many hours of work from the scouts are you expecting that to be?
I don't know, cause it depends on like how many people show up, cause a lot of people are busy during the summer, but probably like 5 days with like a couple hours each day.
Great. And are you taking donations in order to pay for the materials, or are those being donated?
So Friends of Troop 368 has a fund for Eagle Scout projects. I believe that's $250. And then I would need to fundraise the rest, which is about like $300 more dollars.
Great.
Hey, Margaret, you may know the answer to this question, since you know the area. So the area for the picnic benches, isn't that prone to flooding? Or, I mean, I've been in that specific area and it gets very, very soggy over there.
I haven't noticed it being that bad in the fall, except that one year at the Littell Lord Festival where it rained for like 2 days.
Yeah, we pushed that.
That's the year.
So, I mean, I'm just.
The beer garden was not underwater, and that's where they sit.
But I mean, the further you go towards the, let's say the tree line, I mean, that's definitely kind of boggy back there.
But one of the nice things, if there isn't a platform, if it's just the tables, then the tables could be moved as appropriate.
Right.
You know, for different, so like maybe the fishing derby. DPW, you know, moves the tables closer to the pond to make it easier for the people that are fishing, and then you put it back, you know, in the shade after that. So that's another reason why I like it not with the platform, because it gives us more flexibility of where to use those tables.
I'm not sure you can answer this question or not. If you can't, it's fine. What is your estimated lifespan of these? And if there is a lifespan, is there a process where they might be refurbished?
I'm sorry, I haven't looked into that.
Okay, that's fine.
But they are pressure treated, right? It's pressure treated wood, so.
Yeah, so they should be able
Could be a
to.
pretty decent lifespan, I think.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be a great enhancement.
Right.
You know, for events like fishing derby, so, thank you.
I'm sure the garden club will look at it.
It's.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
You know, our scouts give so much back to the town every year. It's just under recognized. I just wanted to say that. I love the scouts. Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Okay, I'll let you guys wanna flip a coin, or does it matter who goes first?
DMR, yeah, if DMR, David. Sorry, yes.
Awesome, this is the summary of the Nokia vision sessions and the community survey. Again, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hi, my name is David Truss, and I'm with the firm of DMR Architects. I'm a senior project planner that ran with a team from DMR the 3 visioning sessions on the Bell Labs Nokia property. As you guys know, and whoever's listening or is here in the audience, Bell Lab Nokia will be vacating that 150 acre landmark property after about 80 years in the end of 2028. And in my 40 years of government, I have never seen a bold mayor and council get ahead of an issue like you have, and I truly mean that. You have decided to address an issue and deal with change before change happens. So that you can manage it and hopefully get the best result possible for your citizens. And we are pleased to have been part of that, at least this initial phase. So DMR held 3 sessions, work sessions, and we had a series of questions and boards where the public participated. If you could go to the next slide. There's the site. It's an iconic site. The building is iconic, and there's been a lot of scientific discovery in that building over the years. And unfortunately, it's moving to New Brunswick. Next slide. We developed 4 boards and 4 topics. The first one is landmark destination. There was a series of questions that came up with the following summary of comments. First of all, historic preservation of some form is a priority. Second, residents envision the site as a future landmark destination. There was a preference for some mixed-use development, strong support for biotech and pharmaceutical uses, and opposed to AI data centers. I don't know why, but that's what the result. So the second area of questions was the commercial use. Series of questions that they responded to, and the summary of those questions are, the community is interested in some commercial uses. They support a live, work, and play destination for people 55 and older. That includes me. More of the active adults between 55 and 75 is really the category. Strong support for a specialty grocery store. And they were divided on sentiment on office and light industrial uses. They had mixed views on hotels, mainly because we have some in the area already. Next slide. The next series of questions dealt with community facility. And the conclusions are as follows. Community facilities are our top priority. So any redevelopment of this property, community facilities are strongly desired. Second, there is strong support for some outdoor recreation spaces. A lot of that evolved around even some passive, including working with the networks of trails. The third is support of a modern community center. Fourth would be preferred locations. They did have strong expressions of locations for on the site where those community centers could be. There was opposition to a mid-sized kind of sporting arena. Next slide, please. Housing. Senior housing was widely supported. There was also quite a bit of feedback on having housing for multi-generational community. There was a lot of expression from some of the older folk in the group that said, you know, I want to have some place for my grandkids or my kids to live, so I'm not so far away from them if I stay in this community. There was a preference for diverse housing types. I will say overwhelmingly, they preferred the lower density, single family patio home type housing. They also, results were try to intermix some commercial within that, some of those housing forms. And they were very distinct on where those housing locations were, because we did have kind of a preference survey along with an opportunity to put dots on the map, which actually provided some opportunity for some humor. Berkeley Heights people actually have a lot of humor where they actually put a dot on their head. They had an extra one. I don't know where this one should go, but so I'm going to wear it here. It was all good. So in summary, I think we accomplished a lot. It's over 200 people that came out. It was much more than we anticipated. We had 8, I think one time we had 9 DMR staff running the small groups of between 10 and 12 people per group. They were very engaging, very passionate, very intelligent. I've been in a lot of public meetings. There was no nastiness to it was really, I was proud to be a part of that process. And I think when the final report is revealed, you guys are going to be pleased that you got a wealth of information on what your citizens think that should go on. And it's actually, when I look at it, it's very consistent with what I would call sound planning principles. So I think we have a good foundation for you guys to press forward on this issue. So I'm available for questions if you have any.
And we will, it's not up yet. We're still going through it. We're trying to figure out the best format. We will have the comprehensive report up on the website in the next week or so for the public as well. So, and just to remind everybody, this is, you know, what we would like to see on the site, or the plan is to bring this to the developers with, when the township representatives meet with them and say, this is what the town, you know, our residents would like to see if we can weave into the site plan and use whatever negotiating power, you know, we can to get some of what our residents would like. So that's the plan going forward.
Yes,
And
knowing
just
what the,
add,
sorry.
just to add to what Liza said, you know, we have not met with the developer and have been very emphatic about the fact that we wanted to hear from our residents before we did sit down with the developer. As you can imagine, they are eager to meet and have reached out. The next steps, which I'm sure is the question that many have, next steps would be to bring the data that David presented tonight to them and try to figure out how we can incorporate as much as of what the residents think would be viable, and as I say all the time, legacy type of project for Berkeley Heights. So I suspect that will happen, you know, sometime over the summer. I've got quite a travel schedule with my daughter, so it's going to be a little challenging, but we'll get it done.
I just want to make a comment too. I was at one of the 3 sessions, and the people that were there were very engaged. Your people were very engaged. It kept them focused, kept everybody in the room focused on what we need to get out of the information we need to get out of them. And anybody that's out there in TV land that is listening to us, I appreciate your input. Anybody else in the audience that got on the website, signed up to come to the meeting, I appreciate your input. The town appreciates your input, because it's about the township. And thank you for seeing what we're trying to do here by being forward thinking on this.
Is the survey still open?
I think so. It just, the link isn't like, it's still on the main Nokia website.
We want to give people an opportunity, if they're tuning into this for the first time, to fill out
They can,
the survey.
it's on the berkeleyheights.gov/Bell Labs Future. It's there, the link should be there.
DMR did look at that survey. That was part of the basis on how we formed the questions, at least the initial respondents of that survey. And as that process went forward, we actually accumulated, and there is a section in the final report that gives our assessment of what the survey spoke to, which is not inconsistent with the boards and the questions and the answers. So it was, I think it was a monumental success. And I don't always say that about public forums. I'm usually very cautious in my 40 years, but this one I'm excited about.
I just have a quick question regarding community facilities. What would be an example of a community facility? You're saying that the community facilities are a top priority, and I get it, but I'm not even sure what would be a good example of a community facility.
That is further defined in the report. What I can recall off of top of my head is that, of course, the seniors in that participated wanted a senior center. There were some that wanted some kind of event space. There was actually quite a few people that talked about a small ice rink with some kind of community rooms in there. The other community facilities evolved around the landmark. How do we recognize Bell Labs and celebrate the great scientists of that era in some kind of park area or central gathering place, outdoor space that could become a community place? So there's a variety of, and I think that's actually the key to developing that site, is not to have a lot of those things incorporated into whatever plan comes into being. I hope that answered your question.
Anybody else?
And Bill, just to further that conversation, I was at the first and the third visioning meeting. I think that the development of some sort of recreation zone was something that was echoed in those two meetings that I attended. So I think, David, some of that facility space, if you will, was also, and I think you mentioned the the community ice rink, but some of those sort of recreation zone type of thing was some of the thinking that I heard too.
Great. We have any questions from the audience? Anybody have anything that they would wanna chime in on? Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Eric, that's why I said.
Yeah, come on up. Yeah.
Eric Probst, 281 Chaucer Drive. Just so I'm clear, we don't own the property and a developer's gonna come in. How are they beholden to put any of this into the final product that's gonna be up there for the next 5, 10, 15, 50 years?
Well, this is the Berkeley Heights Township controls land use in the town, so it is zoned a certain way. It's zoned basically to have a Nokia site there. So anything else they would want to do, they would have if nothing was done, they would have to go for a use variance. And if you know anything about land use variances are not looked upon nicely within the courts. So,
When you say not nicely, you mean?
it's very difficult to prove. The other issue, which I didn't bring up, is that one of the purposes of this visioning session was that Nokia, this property is one of the highest taxpayers in the township. So having this property go fallow when they move out is not a good thing for the township. So the township understands that change is going to happen, development will take place. So let's figure out what we want so that when we talk to developers and hear what they want, we have a clear direction on how to negotiate. That was really the focus, because you are talking millions of dollars of revenue that if Nokia goes out, there will be tax appeals and that number will be reduced over time. So it's kind of a very old building, and that kind of building is not desirable for new business to move in. So I hope I answered your question. Thanks.
I went to your meetings. I'm impressed with what you just said.
Can you just state your name really quick?
I'm a Yankee fan, so it's okay. My name's Joe Iadanza. I'm 923 Mountain Avenue. But is it possible to let the place be fallow? Can that happen? Let's say if somebody wanted to make it a park or a golf course or something like that.
I don't know how the governing, having ran a city and
Right.
having ran a town and having ran a town that had tremendous tax appeals and lost a lot of revenue, you would have to cut services and probably staff
Okay,
in order to maintain budget. And I don't think that's in the best interest of the citizens.
oh, I agree. But I just want to say that I was really impressed with the way you just spoke today. I went to the meetings, like I said, and to me, you gave an honest assessment of what the people really want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's our number one taxpayer. I think David said it is absolutely the largest tract of land, and it is the largest taxpayer in Berkeley Heights.
It's over $2 million. That's correct.
Anybody else? Okay, nothing else. All right.
Tim Carney, 128 Fingers Drive. I attended the meeting, I spoke with you. What did we learn from the Connell Center? You have a big, their land use there that we should take away some learnings to see what they did right and what they did wrong and apply that to what's going on there. So, because I actually mentioned that to you when we spoke. So that's my question. You know, experience is the best teacher. So what did we experience and what can we improve and what went south?
Well, I can only speak for DMR and myself. We will continue to work with the council and eventually the planning board on the right plan and the right mix of how that happens. And we always look back. That's always good to look back, but you always got to go forward. And what was good prior to may not be good today. But we will definitely take into account what's happening at the Connell Center, what's actually happening on your downtown area, because all that has to be kind of grouped together within a master plan to make sure that we continue to grow smartly and that we don't bolster one area and knock down another, depending on what we do. So it's got to be a synergy that works together. And we have to look at our neighbor that has control over part of the frontage. We have to look at what they're going to do. So there's a lot of pieces.
And just expanding upon what David just said, the point of the Nokia site is really to complement what's going on at Connell and downtown. We don't want to cannibalize or directly compete with our downtown small businesses, a lot of them which are small, or whatever is going down at whatever's going to, it's being built now at Connell in terms of the live, work, play offerings they have there. So that is part of the conversation that we would have with the developer when given the opportunity at Nokia to see how we can work with them to offer our residents things that we don't already have here and don't directly compete. Sorry, Julie. Go ahead.
I think this is the right time for me to talk about this, so I'm gonna just, I just had a few words I want to say. Julie Lloyd, 52 Deepdale Drive. Congratulations, Mr. Moran. I just hope everybody's doing well. So I went to the planning board meeting last night, and I really wanted to give kudos to Mike Mistretta, who's the affordable housing planner. I think he did a really awesome presentation. I think it was a very difficult subject, super complicated. His presentation was
Julie,
fantastic.
I don't want to.
No.
I want to just.
I understand. I'll get to my point.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we got other, all right.
The right subject? That's what you wanted to ask, right?
It is the right subject.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say that it was great and the PowerPoint was excellent. So if anybody gets a chance, please, go on and take a look. I just wanted to highlight that Mike Mistretta, who is the affordable housing, he's been through multiple rounds of this. And, when we did the third round of affordable housing, he did an awesome job on making sure that I had quality building materials. He had strong design standards. He had many amenities and allowed for green space. And I just want to make sure that I know we have to put 60 age-restricted housing units there in Nokia, that Mike Mistretta was involved and will be involved in this process going forward. Does he know about this presentation? Has he been involved?
Yes,
in
we
this?
we had a conference call, so
This is about the visioning meetings that we did.
I understand, but it's about Nokia. I just thought it was appropriate for me to ask make sure that Mike was part of this conversation. That's all I'm asking.
Nokia.
I think that's a good question. I also wanted to ask, have you talked to New Providence Town Council about being part of this? Because they own that front part, and I think it's important for us to they're really good.
And that's something that came up during some of the meetings and what we said, and actually several New Providence Council people came to our visioning meetings. We essentially said we wanted to have our meetings first to gather all the feedback from our residents so that when we met with New Providence, we could accurately portray what our residents wanted. So that's one of the next steps.
Yeah.
Mayor, did you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, no, I know that I've had council people reach out. I did speak to planning board members in New Providence and council members when I was at the two visioning meetings. They've been a tremendous partner throughout this whole entire process, back from 2019 when Nokia was thinking about redeveloping the site itself. I know that Al Morgan and I have been in constant contact and have been on conference calls with the state over the years. So we have to do this together. It's two governing bodies. Yeah, it's two planning boards. We have to be partners on this. So happy to be a part of it with them.
All right, so that was all, I just wanted to make sure that Mike, because of the design standards, he really is really good on pushing the building quality, that we make sure that he's part of this process. Okay, thank you.
If I can just address that, DMR architects and planners, or secondary, we're an architectural firm. We have done a lot of redevelopment work that requires excellent architecture. So if we stay involved, you will have that, and I assure you that that will be paramount to what happens at that site, without any question.
The point is affordable housing, right? We want to make sure that commingled in this, that we don't compromise any of our, negotiations.
I'm all
Teamwork is
yours.
always the best.
Yeah.
Teamwork is
Absolutely.
always the best, right?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Anybody else? Okay, let's move on to the next.
Thank
Next
you.
session.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Do you need me anymore tonight? Otherwise, I'm gonna go home.
No.
You're out.
Planners have had a very hard week. 2 weeks.
Eat feet.
Thank you, David.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, David.
Dr. Fannin, or whoever from your team is going to come up, which, I don't know which way you want to.
Yes, the proposal for Springfield is first too. Okay. Thank you, David.
By the way, I know this guy, Mr. Hannon.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, that's good or
Do
bad?
you want one of those? Or-
Unless you're gonna pull it up.
I am gonna pull it up, yes.
Yeah.
Which one first?
This one. Here,
Is that the last one you sent me?
yeah, that's one of the last two. Good evening. My name is Bill Hamilton. I'm a principal with Bowman Consulting. We're the engineers as well as the planners for this project. We've been working on this site now for a number of years with Dr. Fan, and I'm here tonight as well with Lance Blake, who's the architect, who's going to talk to you a little bit about what we're proposing. And I'll very briefly describe the site. It's a 0.6 acre site. It's located just south of the Terrace One building, which Dr. Fan also developed. And I'm pointing here to the aerial. As you can see, we're proposing to build on lots 4 and 6. It's again, it's a 0.6 acre site. Right now, there's an existing office building and that fronts on Sherman Avenue, as well as a single family residential home that fronts on Springfield. We're proposing one building of exactly 33 units. 20% will be affordable units. Again, Lance is going to talk about the details of that building. There's parking under the building. There's 37 spaces proposed under the building. And then there's additional parking that's being allocated to the site in the existing parking lot of the old King's building, which now is part of the Claris project. It's very similar in terms of program to what's done for the Terrace One, although again, this is a little different architecture, a little different design that you're going to hear about this evening. We've taken into account some of the comments that we've had from the township as well as Mr. Mistretta over the past couple of years, and we've come up with this design. The final change that we made is that we proposed a retail space of approximately 1,500 square feet that Lance is going to talk about on the Springfield Avenue side of the building, so it'll have direct access to Springfield Avenue. And we've proposed a walkway down between Terrace One and this project, which again, we call Terrace Two, which will provide access down to the parking area as well as the streetscape along Sherman. We've also taken into account your plan for Sherman Avenue in terms of bikeway and improvements, and this plan would be consistent with that plan. And finally, I'd like to turn it over to to Lance, actually, who's going to talk about the building. I'll be here to answer any questions that you might have. I do have one other.
So Liza, can you just scroll it down so that the lots 4 and 6 are easier to see? Great. Oh, perfect.
Oh, great.
I do have one other exhibit, Liza, that we brought, which is really a blow up of.
Okay. Like what I just did?
It's
Sort of.
it's,
Oh, all right.
the last thing that we said.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you just
And
did.
basically, this is just a blow up of, that area of Sherman Avenue as well as Springfield Avenue and the site itself. And as you can see, this is the walkway I was talking about, providing access down to the parking area. This over here adjacent to Springfield Avenue is the retail space I had mentioned, as well as a plaza adjacent to Springfield Avenue with both stairs and a rampway. But with that, I'll turn it over to Lance and he can talk a little bit about the building itself.
The fly through or the other one?
Let's start with an overview of the floor plans. Anyway, just as a way of introduction, I'm Lance Blake, principal of Rottwein and Blake Architects. We were the architects of the Terrace One for Dr. Fan as well. And we feel that this will be a really nice addition to the streetscape and complementing the Terrace One in both quality and architecture. In piggybacking onto what Bill had just presented, what you're seeing on the screen right now is the ground floor plan for the building, which will house 37 parking spaces, the main entrance, and also an amenity space, which will be a lobby and a gym space, plus other utilities. But you can see the shape of the building, how it fronts Sherman to the bottom, and Springfield Avenue as it narrows down and creates an L shape around the neighboring property. We can go to the next slide. The second level, basically on the Sherman Avenue side, would be above the street level, and as we get up to the Springfield Avenue side, it becomes on grade at Springfield Avenue, and this is where we put the retail component of the project. So just to the top of the plan is if you can zoom in on that a little bit. There's a 1,500 square foot retail component with some outdoor seating area that fronts Springfield Avenue. As we get to, you can go to the next plan. Oh, and also just in terms of the program, there is 33 units with a 20% COA, which will primarily have a combination of 1, 2, and a 3-bedroom. And as we get to the upper floors, you can go to the top floor, Liza, if you could. Second floor, third floor is the same. And then when we get to the top floor, we stepped the building back and created an amenity. If you go just down one more, no, I'm sorry, to the top floor plan. So the top floor plan, basically fronting Sherman Avenue, will have a rooftop amenity, and we stepped the building back so that top level will not be visible from Sherman Avenue. So it appears to be a 3-story building, both on Sherman and on Springfield Avenue. And there'll be a really nice passive landscape deck area for the residents to enjoy. Plus, there'll also be a club room off of that terrace. Architecturally, if you go to the Sherman Avenue side, the next slide.
I'm trying here.
So looking at ground level across the street on Sherman, you can see that the building will be compatible in both materiality and architecture to the Terrace One. A little bit different, it's a different shaped building, but they will be compatible. And then you can also see that the top floor recedes and disappears from view. Looking at the Springfield Avenue side in conjunction with the terrace, the first Terrace One, you can see again that the buildings are compatible. We've tried to create life along Springfield Avenue with this retail component. If you can just maybe zoom in a little bit on the that area. So it's an area where we can put tables, some benches, an area that can possibly be, right now, we've put a signage for an ice cream, ice cream store. But again, it'll add life to Springfield Avenue and create a nice store frontage. And then what we've put together for you is a visual walkthrough that takes you from one side to the other and then up the path between the buildings. So we're coming up the walkway through the buildings for pedestrians to get from Springfield Avenue to Sherman. You can see the retail area. And the building, the portion of the building that fronts Springfield Avenue is the most narrow part of it. And as the building goes back towards Sherman, and what it does is it creates an L shape to the backyards of the other commercial properties up front. So it gives the appearance that it's not quite as large as it is. It's a little it's deceiving in that way in a positive way. So with that, entertain any questions. This is the flavor of what we're going to hopefully be bringing to the planning board.
I have a quick question. Where, you mentioned the parking, the 37 spots, but I didn't see the entrance to the parking. I mean, if we could just go back. So is it on the side or is it on the Sherman side?
It's on the Sherman side. When
Not this, right?
well, we can go to the first floor plan level. It was the first exhibit sheet.
It's different than.
Or actually, if
They keep doing that.
I don't know.
I could point it out on one of the renderings.
Where it is where is it in comparison to the garage at the Terrace One? Same place, right?
Yeah. Same side. It's off of Sherman Avenue.
And now this isn't loading.
Actually, I'll just come here.
There we go.
So it's yeah, I didn't see it in the rendering, but I'm trying to get my bearings. I mean, is it to the left of the property, is that where DeMayo's is located? Or is that the coffee shop?
Mayo's in the coffee shop.
Oh, okay, all right.
Both.
Lot 3.
Yeah,
right
actually,
here.
it's gonna come down and be behind both of those.
Oh, okay.
So the building kind of L's
Uh-huh,
around lots 2 and 3.
right.
So existing restaurant is DeMayo's, right?
And then the lot 5 existing insurance agency, some of that is DeMayo's parking.
Oh, so, right, so.
And then lot 3 is the coffee culture with their little parking lot behind.
And you mentioned the parking across the street. Is that parking for that? So I'm not sure how that works because isn't that parking for the other community that is right across the street? Those set of condos or, right? Am I correct?
No, it's not
No,
Claris's parking, it's owned by this property.
It's the parking is owned by Dr. Fan.
Oh, okay. But it's being used by, I think, the people that live right there.
It's being used by people in Station Court and people that are going to the train station.
Oh, okay.
Sam.
Okay,
But there's ample parking in terms of a shared parking component for the residents of the new building to share the parking.
how many units are we talking about again?
33
33, so there's 37 spots.
and 37 spots in the
In the
garage.
garage?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And pretty much the second and third floor, they're pretty much the same floor plans. It's the fourth floor, obviously, there's probably less units because it's set back and you cannot see it from the street, basically.
That's correct.
Okay.
What's the breakdown for 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms?
I have to, we have to blow that out.
Here we go.
Yeah, okay, so can you see this? You can see this, right? Okay. So this is the first floor here. Right?
Yeah.
Am I reading that
first floor,
right?
We would have a one bedroom COA, one bedroom den, two bedrooms, two bedroom COAs. I'm sorry, a 2-bedroom COA. So I don't have the totals, I haven't broken down by floor. But I would say the mix is probably 60-40 from 2-bedroom to 1-bedrooms, and then there are a few 1-bedroom dens.
So there's 1 3-bedroom unit
There's a 3-bedroom COA.
and everything else is 1 and 2 bedrooms.
Everything else is 1 and 2 bedrooms.
Great.
The units are generous in size, and many of them have dens.
And then is there a difference in the COA units in size from the regular, like a 1-bedroom COA versus a 1-bedroom market rate? Is there a difference in size?
There will be a difference in size, but the COA units will meet, standards.
Great. Thank you.
One question, go ahead, I have one question before start, if you don't mind. So the walkway, and I want to say thank you, Dr. Pan, you're doing a great job designing this. Will the walkway be maintained by the complex, or will be deeded to the town as an easement, will be an easement granted? Is there gonna be adequate lighting built to the police department to make sure, because that's gonna be a spot that people will be walking through. And as our density increases in town with the train station, that's gonna be a high traffic area.
I would imagine that it would be maintained by the owner.
Okay.
Yes.
Of course.
And obviously, we would meet all the standards that the township would require at planning board in terms of life safety and lighting. Yeah,
Okay, I'm just concerned about lighting and safety.
sure.
The Springfield Avenue side, I thought I caught a glimpse of it. It looks like it's pretty set back. Like, will there be seating in front of the building?
Yes,
Yeah, I thought, that's what I thought I saw.
there'll be a plaza, what we're
Yeah,
doing,
okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Now, that plaza will be just because of the differential in floor to floor height between the parking level and the second level in terms of grade from Sherman Avenue to Springfield Avenue. There'll be about a 1.5 foot difference, but that actually will make it pleasant, nice, to have that just,
Is it, when you say 1.5 feet, is it lower or higher?
it's a little bit higher than the sidewalk.
It's all good. And would that be open to just the general public? I mean, can I just walk along the sidewalk and just, sit down and have my coffee there? Or is that something that really should be just for the residents only?
Well, no, it's actually part of the retail.
Oh, okay, all right,
It's part of the retail component.
great, thank you.
Anybody else from up here? Okay, I'll throw out to the audience. If you have any questions out in the audience, like Steven, you're ready to head yourself up here, so come on up.
Good evening, everyone. Stephen Yellen, 114 Timber Drive. Quick question regarding this. Is this planned development, is this already permissible by the town master plan? Or is this something where a variance, rezoning variance would have to be granted by the zoning board?
It was previously defined as an area in need of redevelopment. So it will be done under a redevelopment agreement. It is consistent with the master plan and the overall goals of the master plan to keep Sherman Avenue walkable, make the downtown, continue to develop the downtown with, residential and commercial properties that are viable. So the commercial space, the retail space on Springfield Avenue and the new designs just came out really nicely. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I guess to that point, I apologize if I missed this. I recall previously there had been a proposal in terms of having Sherman Avenue, that portion of Sherman Avenue be pedestrian only, at least that, was that, I may be confusing myself now at this point.
Not just really.
Not pedestrian.
No, increasing the pedestrian area by adding a bike path, narrowing the road for traffic.
Okay.
But also the
More
ability,
More
go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Angie.
No, I was gonna say just the plan, the vision always was just to make it more walkable, not to close it off to vehicular traffic.
Okay, and so our intention here is to ensure that the new development, should this go forward, would be compatible with those goals.
Yes.
We had those talks early
Mhm.
on when we just wanted them to know that this was going on with, in the next year or so, and to make sure that whatever they put forth to the town when they were ready was compatible with that. Yeah.
And the developer is confident that we'll be able to achieve capacity or be able to fill the units in the new complex.
That's a good question.
We'll let them answer that.
That's always a good question.
Yes, it is.
I guess my question would be with regards to do we have numbers in place that show over time the percentage of units being filled when we have developments built up in the town? How quickly are those units that are then made available? How quickly are they filled? Are they filled to capacity? And is that something that we also is reflected as part of our master plan and part of our overall looking at the housing picture in town?
Do you have something on that, Angie, or should I take a shot at it?
Well, we'll tag team Margaret, but I would say, Stephen, a developer, and certainly Dr. Fan isn't going to invest funding if he didn't think he could rent them out. And if memory serves, phase one of Claris was under a TCO, and they had leased up all of those units before even getting the CO. I think all Moderna and all the other facility developments that are being constructed or have been constructed are fully under capacity. So I think the market is strong, and I don't foresee a problem with Dr. Fan being able to lease those apartments as well.
Actually, what if you say as Dr. Fan, how did you get on the first round, first building? How did you fill it? And how fast did you fill it? Because if your chances are filling the second one just as fast, I mean,
The first one built very quick. Yeah. As soon as we get a TCO, within the 2-3 months.
I thought that was the case, but I was asked by a friend to bring up the question, so.
Yeah, so just to reiterate what Angie said, the other buildings have filled. They've rented, the rental market is very strong. There's still a multi-year waiting list for affordable apartments. So it's gonna be a while before that enough apartments are built. The affordable apartments are built to fulfill that demand.
Right.
But the demand for rentals in Berkeley Heights still seems to be very strong.
Right.
What?
So they can't get houses either.
Yes.
So I think some people are moving into the rentals because they can't find houses.
Right, that's right. So, thank you very much.
All right, anybody else? Oh, good.
Joe Iadanza, 923 Mountain Avenue. My question is this, the bike lane, where's the bike lane gonna be? Is it gonna be on the street or is it gonna be on the sidewalk?
It's going to be on that side of Sherman Avenue, so the opposite side from Peppertown Park.
Right.
Correct, so on the
Okay.
same.
On Sherman Avenue, yes.
Because the reason why I asked, the concern is just from a traffic point of view. Across the street, there's those houses.
Mhm.
I don't know what they're called. but they're in front of the Sherman Avenue apartments, but people park there. And if
Yes.
if it's gonna be two-way street, and if you're gonna put a bike lane.
Yeah, no, they can't park there anymore. That's part of the
Okay.
plan. Right, yes, yes.
Okay.
So the,
Taken care of.
Thank you.
Sure.
Always on top of it, Joe.
Oh, I like traffic.
All right, anybody else? All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a very solid presentation. I appreciate that. Okay, moving on.
If I make a motion to approve the minutes of May 6th, 2025, and the closed door sessions of February 18th, March 4th, and March 18th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes. Good.
So can I ask a
Oh,
question?
sure.
So what will be the next step? Can we start to prepare for the site plan?
Yeah, you should, I think Les is right outside, so why don't you catch her?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Great. Okay, I move to open the public hearing on the ordinances being considered for final adoption.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes. Okay, comments on the ordinance or final adoption are welcome during the public hearing. There will be one public hearing for all ordinances listed. Before making comment, all speakers must identify their name and address. Each speaker shall be limited to 3 minutes, and I got you on the clock. So there you go. Yeah, we're open for discussion.
I got a question. We can talk about anything, right?
just the ordinances.
Ordinances and final adoption.
That's
So those,
Ooh, sorry.
those ordinances are the stop sign ordinance, the Complete and Green Streets Committee, and the size of the library board.
And the,
Oh, the
Police
big
off-duty police
police
service.
officers. Those are the three ordinances that are up for final.
Yeah.
Chief Grellis, 35 Sycamore Avenue. Just to follow up from the last meeting with the introduction of the stop sign ordinance, we had the neighborhood engineer Brian he was brought in to look at things so he could do an engineering review, kind of per the statute on putting in stop signs that aren't officially stop signs, even though they've been there a while. And I just reviewed that statute and I talked to the mayor at the end of the meeting about that in a little bit more detail. And I'm just kind of waiting on an answer for, do we have a completed, signed off, engineering review to support the ordinance?
I know, Steve, Steve, I know you sent me an email with several questions. So as it relates to Brian, and your question, this is what he wrote to me. Quote, with respect to the stop signs and the audit I represented to the township, that stop signs are established by way of engineering judgment, as clearly spelled out by the MUTCD. I then reviewed the audit and checked each intersection to see if it was appropriate and if engineering judgment would support those stop signs. The conclusion, as presented to the mayor and council, was that engineering judgment supports the installation of all the stop signs as represented in the audit. Therefore, no further action is required by the township nor the township engineering. At that particular mayor council meeting, no one in the audience refuted what I represented, and I believe the matter was concluded within the context of the mayor council meeting.
What was that last sentence again?
I just clicked it off. Hold on. At that particular mayor council meeting, no one in the audience refuted what I represented, and I believe the matter was concluded within the context of the mayor council meeting.
Okay, I understand that. I mean, that's not germane. And I may or may not agree that's all it takes, but I'm not going to be concerned about that. I'm just asked if if what he reported was written and signed, sealed, and certified, that is the results of the engineering review. Because the statute requires something in writing to that effect. And it's saying whatever he wants to say as our representative engineer. And it doesn't sound like there's anything that was provided in that final form, or you would know best because he would provide it to you, Eliza.
It seemed to me that what he had previously provided for us at our last, I think it was our last meeting or the introduction of that meeting, he felt that it was engineering judgment and that was suffice in terms of what the township needed to achieve.
Right.
And
No,
that email reiterated that.
Yeah, I was here and got to hear him speak after me. Yeah, and those engineering findings are, he can represent them, and that is fine. I'm saying that the state statute to put in these stop signs, to put in a new speed limit, just requires us that engineering to be written down and to be signed, sealed with a speed license and certified to be true and accurate. And basic question that I asked, and figuring you would know earlier, was, does that documentation exist? And I think the answer is no, but I'm just looking for a confirming answer.
I wouldn't assume that the answer was no.
Okay, that's why I'm
I
asking.
want that floating out there.
Okay,
We'll check tomorrow. That's the answer.
And I specifically shared with him your concerns, and that was the reply. So my understanding of that email is that he has complied with whatever state statute that he felt that he was required to do. But yeah, we can check again. Is Scott there as well? I can't see. Liza, you're the only.
Julia's here for Scott. Julia's here for Scott.
I know that you also had a question of the township attorney, which I passed along as well, but I don't think she would be aware of that.
Right.
and as I read it to you, and I talked to you in the note that, the Scott definitely knows about it because the statute was referenced, for example, in the speed limit ordinance. And we've talked about this applying to, essentially this town will only have to deal with this kind of thing for stop signs, speed limits, and one-way streets. Typically, there's other reasons you need to do the same kind of study, but they tend not to be applicable to what most towns do. So yeah, so that's it. Anyway, in order to legally, and the end of the statute, and I'll leave you with this, is you need to have that in order to have an ordinance consistent with that report and needs to exist for, to you legally vote on this. And I was part of reviewing the stop signs with the police department because I had some knowledge about what they were and how they applied. And, I've had a chance for my own review and I can support putting the stop signs. I'm just looking at considering that this result, to have to put these stop signs in the ordinance, resulted from sometimes after 2008, that nobody did a study nor did an ordinance for those stop signs. That's why you're doing it now. And it's like, nobody followed the past administration managed not to follow the statute last time for an assortment of reasons. Some of them could be very innocent. You should do it this time. That's all I've been trying to say.
Listen, one question, if I heard what the mayor said, Brian said he has his engineering judgment. And they're gonna check to find out for you tomorrow, the next day. If he signs it as a signed, sealed and certified engineering judgment, would that qualify?
Yeah, well, look at that. I'll let him get away with whatever engineering he wants to say. So, I won't be hard on that, but I just want to make sure you have some semblance of coverage.
We will make sure everything's done.
By having it documented and then signed, sealed and certified.
Okay, Leslie's gonna double check on that.
I'm not gonna fuss on his engineering. He can represent as long as they're willing to put a seal on it. That's it.
Signed, sealed and certified.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
make sure we do what's required.
Okay,
And,
thank you.
and if he doesn't, you still have time before this would go into law to still stay legal, so.
Well, they're gonna follow.
Yeah, there's an estoppel period, so we should be.
The estoppel signs.
Only you, Manny.
On that note, anybody else? I can't even follow that. Are you kidding me? Okay.
Seeing no one else, I move to close the public hearing on the ordinances being considered for final adoption.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, can you do us the honor of reading the first ordinance?
Ordinance 2025-15, an ordinance amending chapter 10.08 of the Township Code entitled Through Streets, Stop Intersections, Traffic Control Signals, and Crosswalks to include installed stop signs not reflected in the Township Code.
I move to adopt the ordinance as read by the clerk.
Okay, discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes. Madam Clerk, could you read ordinance 2025-20?
An ordinance establishing the Complete and Green Streets Committee, CGSC.
Second.
I move to adopt the ordinance as read by the clerk.
Second. A discussion?
I'd just like to say that the prior members of the task force, the future members of the committee are anxious to get going, and continue the work of making our streets safe.
Awesome. Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Okay, Angela, be so kind as to read ordinance 2025-21, please.
Amending the Township Code for the Township of Berkeley Heights to increase the size of the Library Board of Trustees.
And move to adopt the ordinance as read by the clerk.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
We have,
Miss-
we have
Okay.
several applicants already. Just want to point that out. 3 applicants already.
Okay.
Yeah,
Roll-
sorry,
roll call.
that's it, yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm coming. Sorry, Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, can you read ordinance 2025-22?
Amending the Township Code for the Township of Berkeley Heights to amend the rates for off-duty police services.
I move to adopt the ordinance as read by the clerk.
I'll second that. Geez. Look at my tongue, it's still too fast tonight.
Calm down.
Gee. Roll call.
He's
Um,
context here, John.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
sorry, no.
Okay, I move to open the citizens hearing.
Hold on, let John, go ahead.
I apologize.
Go ahead, second.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Who's second? Did you?
John,
Oh, sorry.
we waited for him.
Oh. Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
All right, comments are welcome during the public comment period during this meeting on any matter over which the township has jurisdiction. To make your comment, the speaker must come forward to the microphone and state his or her name and address for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. The mayor and council will keep time. Please promptly yield when the floor when time is called. Return to your seat. Your cooperation and adherence to these rules of order will ensure an orderly and respectful meeting.
And that includes Yankee fans.
The floor is yours.
Let's go Mets.
Okay. Oh, wait.
You're on.
Okay, Joe Danza, 923 Mountain Avenue. I got a question on the status of the Mountain Avenue sidewalk project. Excuse me. When will it start? Where will it start? Will the sidewalks be concrete? Will trees be removed on the right of way? Will curbing be upgraded? And I know I read an article in Tap into Berkeley Heights that said there may not be enough funds to replace the entire stretch. And if so, where would the additional funds come from?
Not this year, most likely next year. We're doing the Springfield Ave sidewalks in order of when we receive these grants to do these. No, definitely, the funds definitely do not cover the whole stretch from, I think we went
Grassman?
Park to
Grassman. Way out there.
way out there, yeah.
Out by Summit Health.
Yes, Diamond Hill.
Yeah.
Diamond Hill, thank you, I couldn't think of that word. we're gonna see how much we can do. And then normally what we do is in the budget year that we're attempting to actually do that project, we figure out how much township funds we have to maybe augment that project. So we'll do as much as we can that the township funds will, allow, but yes, hopefully next year.
Will we be starting at the Park Avenue end or the
Yes,
Diamond Hill end?
yes.
So we'll start at Park Avenue
Yes, that's
and
the
figure out how much grant money we have coming east.
Yes,
And then we'll look at where it stops
yes,
and what's left and what we can afford to do in that next budget year.
yes. And if there are situations where there's trees uprooting the sidewalks, we would have to remove those trees for.
Yeah, I know, I've talked to some of the surveyors, and they were very nice, they would explain it to me, and my concern actually was Mountain Avenue is not straight, so it curves as you go towards Mountain Park.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay,
So it's just New Jersey American Water ruining the road this year.
Oh,
We'll ruin it next year.
yes, they're right near my house now, thank you.
Thank you.
And the sidewalks will be concrete, right?
Yeah, we can't,
Yeah,
yes.
because that's
yeah,
our
sorry,
standard
correct,
when we
yeah.
rebuild the
My
sidewalks.
concern also is on the curving, are they gonna put Belgian block, or are they gonna just, just have asphalt come to the ground, asphalt up
Yeah.
to the road, from the road to the grass, because what happens a lot of times, especially in certain areas where I am, a little bit of a hill, it starts to fall up a gully, and then we have a little bit of a problem, you gotta fill it in again.
Right,
Fill it
right,
in with
right,
Asphalt.
right. It's all Belgian block now, isn't it?
Nope.
No.
Certain.
No, there's certain parts of
Certain
Mountain
parts.
Avenue are not Belgian block.
Certain parts are, okay.
Thank you.
So there'll be, okay.
They're also asphalt.
Yeah,
There's a lot of houses that were just built that put asphalt.
so the problem with the Belgian block curbing, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's very expensive, right? So that's why if we had unlimited funds, we'd love to do that everywhere in town, because it looks really good. A lot of places where it is now, like perhaps like the people who developed that particular community or neighborhood, they installed that Belgian block. That's why it's not consistent throughout the town, but,
So curbing is part of the sidewalk project or it is not?
I don't know.
Okay. So we'll get an update to the public
Yeah.
on that.
Belgian block could be very expensive.
Yes. Oh, right. I'm not saying Belgian block curbing, I'm saying curbing. And then it's up to the finance and the engineers as to what makes the most amount of sense for the money.
Yeah.
Great. Anybody else? No?
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Sean Kane, 46 Sycamore Avenue. I'm just gonna make a statement. I was at the planning board meeting last night, and I was just really impressed with the town planner and all of the effort that they put into putting together the plan for the affordable housing for the town, and with very limited amounts of time to push back on the original number and the number that we got. And also, being on the Historical Preservation Committee, I was really happy with the number of possible homes that we might actually have up in the Nokia area. It was a lot less than I expected. So I wanted to thank the planning board, the governing body, and all of the planning, everyone involved with the planning overall. Just really impressed with that. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I piggyback on that, Sean, for a minute? I also want to thank not only our affordable housing planner, Mike Mastretta, who's amazing, our affordable housing attorney, Eric Nolan, the Mount Laurel Committee, and the council, because we've met about this in executive session, and everybody up on the dais has really pushed this along as well. So it's been, and of course, Liza, it's been a Herculean task. And as you mentioned, the timelines have been, shortened, and we've had to turn information around quickly. So it was a great team win, I think, too.
Great. Anybody else?
Hello, I'm Jim Skidmore, 49 Dogwood Lane. By the way, leather sidewalks would be pretty stylish if you can. Yeah. So I'm here on behalf of Historic Preservation Committee tonight, hoping that we can set up a discussion aside to discuss the approximately 340K in set aside grant funding that exists today. I know we finished kind of phase one, but as we go into the fall, or the fall festival, I think we would like to be able to provide update to folks there and obviously raise a lot more awareness around one of our few historic landmarks left and, kind of work a little PR campaign to kind of let everybody know kind of what we're doing.
So I was gonna include this in my administrative report, but we actually just finished submitting for every expense we've put on the project so far. We've submitted for all reimbursements and the state is actually covering like about 55,000 extra dollars because they had extra COVID money, I guess. So I said, that's
Wow.
we'll take it.
They coughed that up.
So we're getting a proposal from Connolly and Hickey, our historical architects, to oversee the next phase of it. So that's the first step, and then council would vote on that contract, and after that, they would put together, well, they have put together the plans, but they would do the fine tuning for the next phase. So we're getting reimbursements in. We got our first $60,000 reimbursement check the other day. It was very exciting. And then we're gonna figure out, okay, how much money do we have in the bank with the donations, plus all the grant reimbursements that we still have sitting out there that now we can still spend against, because we ended up not having to use some of our other grants like we thought we were going to, because the state ended up giving us $60,000 more. So we have more money to play with now, which is good. So I gotta give them a good accounting of it.
What has been completed in phase one and what is included or proposed for phase two? Just general.
So phase one was the rear L kitchen area, the structural stabilization of it and shoring up the foundation. I don't even know how the building was standing. 'Cause
Yep.
that, like the walls literally
Barely.
were not meeting the foundation. So they did that and it was a little bit of work they couldn't get done because it was so bad once they took the walls out. So that's why the state ended up paying for more than they originally were going to. And then because that next grant we got from the state is for like $347,000, plus we have, I wanna say at least another 40,000 in county money. That will help do a big chunk of the carpentry work, the windows, the trim, and finish what they couldn't do in phase one
It was the flooring.
with the stabilization, yeah.
Can we review that with the committee? Just so we can go through it, so we understand like what to.
Yeah, once I get the
Put out there.
detailed proposal from Connolly and
Okay.
Hickey on what that next phase entails, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll make sure, I'll have that for this, or at least our next meeting.
Okay, much
Close together sooner.
Yeah, we are also, the goal is to also make the gala a thing that actually happens. So for everybody's purposes here, if you do hear about that, hopefully the word spreads and we kind of can get that done. Sorry, is this another topic? I think I ran out of time.
It's fine.
But,
you were having discussions.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks. I just wanted
It'd be
to.
nice if that like fiberglass silver stuff wasn't showing when we have that gala and it was
Yeah.
painted. So that's what we want it to
Right.
actually look nice.
I think we could marshal a lot of resources. We
Yeah.
have a lot of those.
But now that that first phase is done, like,
Yeah.
hopefully things will.
Yeah, we just want to keep the momentum going. For some of us that have been around here since 1965, I think we're especially cognizant of that since Nokia current state and some other things, and the Mount Carmel current state and a lot of other things that are going on. So, thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Which on the clock again, Steve?
Steve Carlos again, 35 Sycamore Avenue. I'm going to talk about resolution 210, the license plate readers for authorizing the money for installation and configuration. And Captain's here and didn't let him leave. You might be the one who can answer the questions. I believe this is the few questions to figure out what I need to end up saying at the end. I believe this is the first time that the town is getting license plate readers for the police department, correct? You have some already?
No, yeah, we've purchased them frequently.
License plate.
Sorry, voice
Okay.
from
You gotta get past the echo. And
Received them through grant funding, so the township has not purchased them. Received them through the one that we have existing. one of the ones we have existing, the other ones, it's a little complicated, but it's the most significant one. Was not purchased by township or received it from a grant.
Well, and that's okay. It's,
Through the county.
my interest is more, having them. So this is to, get some, now that we do have some already, so these are for additional.
Yeah.
And how many, vehicles will this be able to add to?
Well, it's 3 locations. There's no maximum of vehicles it's able to, it captures the whole lane of travel.
Oh,
Every
okay.
vehicle that goes through.
Oh, this is for putting in fixed places. Okay. And I guess the key question whenever we talk about, license plate readers, are basically, what they end up, their use and then the associated policies for the use, because there's a bunch of data protection, security, and privacy issues of what goes on with the data after it's used for its primary purpose. For example, a lot of our and each of these recordings, which are captured initially, have license plate, timestamp, and usually geolocation. And you need to be concerned about, depending on how all this is built up, what happens with that data, because it's a trove of location data for people, and the police are only interested in the bad guys. But the have to be careful about the data that remains that was captured to try and get the bad guys. So I guess maybe the key question is, how self-contained is the data collection from these devices? Does it stay within the control of the community, or is it is this supported by a firm that we need an agreement on what they will do with the data to our needs, and so on and so forth?
It's actually pushed down from the state what happens with the storage. So it goes as far as that each department has to have a license plate reader coordinator, which we have, and it comes down to, they actually tell the company how long everything needs to be stored, and they have to all follow whatever the state tells them to do. So all the rules for storage for the license plate data comes down from the state. And we have to do an audit every year, and we comply with, all of that.
And Captain, correct me if I'm wrong, but that may be the same thing for red light cameras.
We don't have red light cameras in the state.
No, but when Springfield had red light cameras, it's major intersections, and we ran them, and we had to do the same thing. Everything came down from the state. We had one guy that just did that alone. And then there was, whatever criteria was and stuff like that. So it's probably along the same lines as that, so.
That's great, because this kind of addresses, kind of policy issues, and that this is contained for those kind of issues I enumerated. Did you say that for any vendor we use for that data collection, because, it's one thing to put the hardware in place. You need to collect that data, it needs to go somewhere, you need to be able to run it against what you're looking for. Are we, the company that's doing all that work in the resolution, are they doing all that stuff, or just the installation and the?
They will do all of that.
So they'll be collecting the data for you, so they will be the ones that have to comply with those rules that you were.
Yes, it's through Motorola.
Okay, that's their turnkey then.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Good. Sounds like you're covered.
Okay. Thank you.
I happen to know about this. Is it okay to pop in for a second?
As long as the facility is ISO 27001 certified or NIST 800, we do not have a national US privacy regulation like GDPR in Europe or other. So there is not any special requirement other than the ISO 27001 storage security posture for people to store anything. So I just wanted to kind of let folks know I'm on DoD advisory board and CISA advisory board and a bunch of other garbage. And so that's, the key is that some of the township application stacks, however, that operate have been breached in the past year, along with 3 billion identities in this country. So that's the thing we need to think of at a higher level. So just thought I'd throw that in. Just came home from work, so.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hi, Dana Nigro, 425 Park Avenue. I'll be quick. I just wanted to say I went to the affordable housing presentation, or at least as much of it as I could make it to last night. I was also very impressed, very pleased that most of it is going to Connell and Nokia properties. I just wanted to say, now that we do have an official Complete Streets Committee, we hope to work with, the township on making sure that we have appropriate standards for road safety and sidewalks so that they can be implemented on any new projects going in there. So just, we're very interested in working together on that. That's it. Thank you.
Great. Great. Okay, anybody else? All right, see no one? Nope, nope, nope.
Well, I move to close the citizens hearing.
Second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mrs. Zillis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes. I move resolution 2025-198, resolution of the Township Council of the Town of Berkeley Heights endorsing a fourth round housing element and fair share plan.
That's it. I'll second that. Discussion?
Can I jump in? Yes, sir. Me.
I call him the mayor.
I know it's been alluded to several times this evening, but I just want to explain to residents who may be tuning in what the process is and why everyone is talking about the planning board last night. As part of our obligation, the rules, if you will, for affordable housing, Mike Mistretta, who is our affordable housing planner, was required to present before the planning board. He did a very thorough presentation. That presentation is on our website. So if you were unable to make it or you have questions about what's going on, please check out our website. What the council is voting on this evening is also required. And I think the deadline is July 1st to have this document to the DCA. Am I right? Or is it June 30th?
I think it's
Yes.
30th.
I thought
But
it was the 30th.
I think it's the 30th because we gotta wait for the planning board to do their thing and then we gotta do this. And then they're gonna get it and it's FedEx it itself.
So I think it's a very thorough plan. I think that it's been really mindful of what's going on at Connell, that it's already under construction. I think it's thoughtful in requiring or requesting that we want senior or age restricted housing at Nokia. And we'll kind of see how things evolve as they go along, both at Nokia as well as our affordable housing plan. But I just wanted to explain the process quickly. Roll call.
No, not discussion. See, you started it.
I know, I'm kidding.
I didn't make the planning board meeting, but I was at the Mount Laurel committee that we have for this. And everything that everybody said about Mike Mistretta, Eric Nolan, Matt Jessup, everybody that's been in a room getting this together and making this happen. This was the behind the scenes stuff. These guys are top notch and you know, they're looking out for us. They really are. And the numbers that we have and they went and fought for us and everything else. So I'm just, it's all good. I'm sorry.
So I just wanted to make a brief statement. I'm proud of the work that Berkeley Heights has done in the last 10 years to meet our state mandated affordable housing obligations. Since I have been on council, I've learned much about housing in New Jersey and the affordable housing law by attending conferences, speaking with housing advocates and planners, and reading articles. There is a definite need for affordable housing. And to clarify, the income levels to be eligible for these units are, for a moderate income, one person household, $75,000 a year. That makes you eligible for one of these units. A two-person household is $81,000 a year. The low income for our region, single person, is $47,000 a year. These are starting salaries or people that are hardworking individuals who just need an affordable place to live. So the numbers can be found, all of the complete numbers can be found in the plan on the website, Because of the demand, there is still a multi-year wait list for these apartments. The law passed last year has very tight timelines, and it made it difficult for towns like ours to develop a comprehensive plan to meet our obligations. I acknowledge the sentiments from many residents that there are too many apartments have been built, but we are obligated by New Jersey law to provide affordable housing. So I support the plan that was passed by the planning board last night because it meets our obligations with fewer overall units. And I thank everyone involved in developing this plan and making sure that we meet the deadlines set by the state.
Any other discussion? Scroll.
Just want to thank Mr. Stretta also. I mean, our planners did a great job. I watched the presentation and the PowerPoint presentation was good to watch. It was great to watch and understand a lot more new items that keep on changing. Right. So that's it.
Did we say anything?
We're done. Roll call.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Zillis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
I move resolution 2025-199. Resolution authorizing agreement with Plainfield Humane Society, Hope for Paws Humane Society for Animal Control Services.
I'll second that. Discussion?
Yes, I have a discussion here. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you?
Yeah, so is there a chance we'll exceed the cap of $7,000?
I mean, we can't exceed it unless we have to amend this, but that number was we came up with that number by looking at the spend from last year and actually working with Diane. So it's not likely. Yes, we didn't just use last year. So
There is some sort of an extraordinary, like, I don't know what, outbreak of some disease and we have to do.
We'd
come back.
we'd have to come back because it's only authorized at this point for that amount of money.
Okay, right.
So,
And who should residents call regarding sick, injured, or dead animals? Because that's all covered.
this all has to.
I know, but
It's not, the way this works, and I don't know if everyone knows, is they call out to the police and the police determine, this falls under the police. It is their job and or the health officer, but it's really, they should call the police and the police will determine whether or not they should call. The public does not call them on our behalf. They call the police and the police make the determination whether it is something that they should be calling the Humane Society, the animal control for or not.
And then the police number that they call is not 911, it's the non-emergency.
The non-emergency number, and they know what should go here and what should not.
I also just wanted to note that reading through that agreement, there's a provision for humane education classes for the public and also PD training. And it would be great if we as the governing body could sponsor some of that training that is included in our contract.
Cool.
There you go. That's all I got.
All right, well, I just want to make clear that I don't work for the Plainfield Humane Society. I work for the city of Plainfield as their animal control officer, but I know everyone there. And the question I brought up here, or that I'm bringing up, is I've been receiving a lot of requests for help regarding colony cats. And section E3, it says any resident requesting SNR, spay, neuter, and return. Normally it's known as TNR, but spay, neuter, and return services. I can provide a trap and they can go ahead and trap the cat and, we could have them pick it up, but we don't know what the cost is for the spay or neuter. It doesn't indicate it here. So if we could find that out, because we have several colonies right here, right off of Springfield Avenue. And I just actually received a request for help 2 days ago from someone over in Stop and Shop regarding, they have like 9 cats already and they just need to stop the madness. They need to get these adult cats trapped and neutered. So if we could find out how much the actual cost of the surgery is, I mean, because it says over here, the resident will actually bear the cost of it. So be nice to know.
I just want to clarify process for residents. They should not tag Bill Machado on Facebook like everybody in town does when there's a sick, ailing, or lonely animal on their property. If there is a sick or dead, right, they should contact the non-emergency police. Bill is not our animal control guy.
Right, right.
I just don't want you, I think people think he is, so he responds, but the process is.
You know, you don't necessarily call if it's on your private property. That's not what.
Okay, let's clarify this because
Yeah.
this is a big. So this is only for in public property, like in a road?
Oh, no. You know, residents can call and say, look, I have a sick fox on my yard,
It
in my
depends
back.
on what it is, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and
So, yeah.
So who's their first call?
the first call is always PD. That's what,
Okay.
yeah, they should be calling.
So call non-emergency police if you have an animal issue.
That's the
That's
best.
the 908-464.
I think we should do an information sheet.
Right.
That goes on the
I think
website.
you're right. I think you're right.
Liza,
You know.
that's the 908-464
111.
lifeline number.
And also I think the price is on page 33 of the spay and neuter.
So the people in the audience can hear it right now. 908-464.
464-1111. Call the non-emergency police. We'll put it, we'll come up with a,
Yes.
what you do when you find an animal on your property.
Anita, happening in the Heights.
We do, I'll follow Bill around to say this is not the guy to tag. Guy's like, he's like everywhere. He's not actually our animal control officer.
908-464-1111.
He does it out of the kindness of his heart.
Yes, thank you, Liza. I mean, today I got a call from someone over at St. Andrews and there was a badly injured squirrel, but I mean, that's New Providence. So you know.
Yeah, you can call to different towns. I know.
You know, I'll go because it's right down South Street and that's what I did today.
Not calling Andrew.
Yeah.
He's brave.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sorry, Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Ellis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
I move to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolutions 2025-200 through 2025-219. These resolutions will be approved in one motion.
Second. Discussion?
I have a question on 2025-215. What is CDBG, Senior Citizens Public Service Programs?
That pays for some of the rec programs that we offer for seniors, right, Angie?
It stands for Community Development Block Grant, which is federal funds that flow through the county. The only population that we're ever sort of eligible to get funding for is for our seniors.
So that's a grant, and that's why there's an appropriation and income and spending all in.
Yeah.
Right, correction. Yes, it's a chapter, it's called the chapter 159 to amend the budget. And that inserts the appropriation and the revenue side of the grant and the same amounts.
Thank you.
And we need them whenever the budget's already been adopted and then the grant money comes in after the fact, so.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Madam Clerk, can you do us the honor of reading the next ordinance?
Ordinance 2025-23, amending the Township Code for the Township of Berkeley Heights to amend the fee for food vendors at township events.
Second. Don't be like that. Oh, making sure you don't go in there.
All right, so I move that the ordinance as read by the clerk be offered on the first reading, that July 15, 2025 be set as the day for the public hearing, and that the clerk be directed to advertise same in the Courier News.
Second.
Now you two are fighting over it. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran, sorry.
Yes.
Clerk, read ordinance 2025-24.
Amend the ordinance amending the township code for the township of Berkeley Heights to amend the fee for lead-based paint inspections.
Move that ordinance as read by the clerk be offered for first reading, that July 15th, 2025 be set for the day of the public hearing, and that the clerk be directed to advertise same in the Courier News.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Right, council reports and administration reports.
All right, mine's kind of short, three items. One, I just want to say, Portugal Day flag raising was near and dear to my heart. I was very surprised and very touched on the fact that the council and the mayor were recognizing the contributions that the Portuguese community, Portuguese culture has brought to the world and its contribution to the American culture. I was also very surprised at the Manicudo Day, so thank you very much. Second item, today Harry Potter was published in 1997, so I'm jumping to John's gun on that one. And the last item I'm going to jump is the UPC code was first scanned in Troy, Ohio in the Mars supermarkets. And you know what they scanned? Wrigley's gum in 1974. And with that, on to the next person.
Yeah, I can't top that. All right. Historic Preservation Committee had their meeting. We had discussion on the construction of the building. That's the question tonight, Liza. The festival, Fall Festival is October 18th, the rain date of the 19th. And here's a little tidbit for you. We are going to combine ourselves with the PAL Fishing Derby on the same day as the festival. So bring your poles. It's going to be on the 18th of October. The PAL approached us about having the fishing derby on the same day as us, so we can have it so it's not just us as a festival, it's them also. There was also some discussion about possibly getting the Rotary Club back involved and having their Rubber Ducky Festival. So we're gonna be reaching out to them and hopefully that will come to fruition, so stay tuned for that. We had a flag raising for Pride Month. I haven't written under memo on this, but again, Portugal Day on June 10th for and Manicudo Day, June 19th, Juneteenth flag raising. And what I understand, the committee's taking a summer off, Madam Mayor, and we're just gonna be hanging out, reconvene in September. All right, today is National Handshake Day. Now, based on all these ordinances we've read and all the instruction guide and everything else, this day was created to remind people of the power of the simple gesture for building trust and connection. Its ancient origins, handshakes have been a symbol of peace and trust since ancient times, particularly in Greece and Rome. It's a universal gesture, and it's a global custom of greeting, expressing agreement, and showing respect. A firm handshake can make a lasting impact, whether in personal or professional settings. And it's also good for building relationships with people. Also, tomorrow, I know it wasn't much today with the sun, but tomorrow is National Sunglasses Day. And it's celebrated annually on June 27th. It's dedicated to promoting the importance of wearing sunglasses to protect your eyes from harmful ultraviolet radiation. It's a joint effort by the Vision Council and other organizations to raise awareness about health benefits of wearing sunglasses beyond just fashion. That's all I've got there.
I'm looking forward to getting the Complete and Green Streets Committee going again soon. In the meantime, members of the previous task force have continued work on road and pedestrian safety with a table at the street fair, children's activities and giveaways, along with collecting information from residents, planning future educational events with Avenues in Motion, and a very positive meeting with the school district on programs we can coordinate with next year. The Senior Affairs Committee met, but there was really nothing to report. And I'm not sure about the EDC meeting, but that isn't until tomorrow? Next week?
It's on the calendar, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that's it for me.
It's on the calendar twice.
Well,
tomorrow.
I'm sorry. So I don't really have anything, but I did find the actual compensation and payment procedures for what we just discussed. It appears that TNR and SNR turns out to be $150 per cat, which is a little on the high side. I think I could probably do better. People for Animals, they spay and neuter around 120. But, you know, since this is a cost to the resident, to the homeowner, the caregiver of these colonies, I would like to at least coordinate that with them so we can maybe move forward and try to get these cats spayed and neutered. There's other parts over here for operational costs that maybe it might come in handy. I wasn't aware that, you know, that they would actually euthanize your pet dog if need be. I mean, normally I think everyone here in Berkeley Heights deeply cares about their dogs and cats, but if they can't afford let's say the euthanasia from their own veterinarian, it appears that it's $100 for euthanasia at the Plainfield Humane Society. So that's good to know. As a matter of fact, for those dead animals that you come across from time to time, they would charge $35 for a dead animal pickup. So I would definitely take advantage of that. It turns out, though, I never seen this before, but they add $1 per pound fee for that poor animal. So I mean, normally it's just a $35 fee, but I guess they're going to weigh the animal.
Actually, the only thing that changed this year from
Oh,
last.
they added $1.
I think that's the one change.
Yeah.
Wasn't there in the past that they did add in this year.
Well, the thing is, they have limited space, unfortunately. You know, they have to bring all these animals to just one area and, you know, they collect them all until, you know, the freezer's filled up. So I guess that's one way of sort of doing that. At any rate, I apologize for that last point there, but these are all very good things to know about our animal control services for Berkeley Heights. Thank you.
Thank you. Just want to take a minute to remember a great public servant, Chief Tommy Murray of the Summit Fire Department passed away today. He had been chief for years in Summit and continued his public service as a Union County Fire Mutual Aid Coordinator, responding to every municipality in and around Union County. He was a great resource. And as a new county public safety director, he was a great resource for me and taught me a lot about the fire service and was always at every fire scene that I pulled up to and always willing to teach younger firefighters and inexperienced public safety directors, you know, whatever he could about the fire service and the important work they do. He will certainly be missed. He was a great man, and my condolences to his family and all of the Summit Fire Department. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Sure, just leave me out. That's fine.
I was like,
As Margaret mentioned, our next senior affairs meeting is July 9th. We had to reschedule. There is a grant from the state that's available. Margaret, can we chat about the Ride for Life, the Asbury success story, and maybe doing something similar with the state grant, which is, I think, due July 11th, which might be tight timing. If not, maybe we can look at this for next year. And it's a subsidy transportation program for seniors. And that is one of our biggest challenges with senior affairs. It's one of the big policy issues that we have to tackle. Veterans Affairs, we are planning a Vet Fest, which is resources similar to what we do for the Senior Information Fair. Vet Fest with Michael Bull. If you know anything about Michael Bull, he's one of the top veterans service type of person. He did some work with some of our police officers, helping them out who are veterans. So he's going to help us plan that event. We are looking to partner with Peace of Mind Yoga and potentially get a grant for vet yoga. It's a specialty trauma-informed type of yoga that really works with those who may have PTSD. So we're going to work on that. Margaret, we got to get back to the Harvest Fest with the EDC, figure out what we want to do with that. I think we kind of left that up in the air. And if we're breaking, the EDC's breaking for the summer, I think we need to probably do a little sidebar planning. Let everybody know our next council meeting is July 15th, which is off our regular schedule. And I just want to mention that the sewer, the procurement process to potentially look at selling the sewer plant has been delayed. So the bid opening was originally scheduled for today. So if that's something that you're keeping track of, I think it is scheduled for an opening on July 3rd.
First, you're right.
First. Okay, that's where I got the first from. And with that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor. We are also coordinating phase 1 of the Sherman Ave Peppertown Revitalization Project. We had a pre-construction meeting last week. We're just finishing some last minute paperwork with New Jersey Transit, and the vendor is he's in the process of submitting submittals. So that should begin in July. We also are soliciting the next proposal for Connolly and Hickey for the next phase of Littell Lord restoration. We're now coordinating grant applications for fire department, road projects, drainage projects. July is one of the bigger months in terms of deadlines for when grants are due. We are also discussing with PD, and Dana left, but how to really make it safer for everybody on the road, with especially now that it's summer, the e-bike and the e-scooter riders. Parents really need to hammer this home with their kids at home, how to ride these things safely. So we're working on what we can do through that and talking with Scott. The drainage and road reconstruction project, green infrastructure project on Orchard Old Farm Mercier started this week. Summer concert series through Rec also started off this week. Wednesdays for the next 2 months or so. Check our website. They're splitting them up between Memorial across the street and Connell. And then road paving will begin in August. The tentative list is on our website. The exact date will be announced as we get closer and the contractor communicates the start date. That's it. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, just one more thing. The July 15th meeting, which is off schedule, is Zoom. So do not come to council chambers. Well, you can if you want to, but we won't be there.
Liz, is there an update on the municipal building? Roof repairs?
Allegedly, they are starting July 7th.
Okay.
I have that.
Is there an agreement on is there an agreement on the work that's being done?
Travelers that's what we're working on with a professional team now, and Travelers, the insurance company, I contacted them. They're supposed to do a walkthrough before that work starts, and I set 3 dates as our team is available for next week. Epic said they were coming, but we need Travelers to also be there, so I'm waiting for them to confirm which day next week is good.
Okay. Thank you.
If you don't mind, I got one more thing I want to say and forgot all about it. 3 days ago, Congressman Tom Kane nominated one of our own Berkeley Heights Police Department, Detective Don Maxwell. He's one of our law enforcement hometown heroes. And that was done 3 days ago. So Don Maxwell, congratulations in the Berkeley Heights Police Department. We have someone who's been nominated by Congressman Tom Kane. So that's about it. I just want to say congratulations to us.
Okay,
I hereby make a motion to close the, not yet, not yet, yes, no?
Yeah, go ahead.
You sure?
Yes,
Okay, I don't want to step on your toes.
I don't have any of those.
Okay. I make a motion to close the acceptable council reports.
Second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes. Okay, we have no executive session tonight, so we're got that. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Please.
The ayes have it.
I
Very much.
Yes.
I didn't make the 22 minutes, but.
Right.
Close that. You threw that in.
Good night, everyone. Hopefully I'll see you soon.
And Ian, congratulations. Ian, congratulations for sitting the entire meeting. Oh, he's over
Yeah,
there.
great.
He's busy.
Have a good night.
Ian, congratulations. Ian, what's up? Congratulations for staying the entire meeting.
There you go.
There you go.
Win-win.
Congratulations for staying the entire time.
Two birds with one stone. There you go. You're efficient too.
It's actually, gonna be the perfect.
I'll look it up when I get. You know, the public big deal.
Oh, sure.
And write about it, the closest thing is maybe we could construe the comments.
It must run in the family.
Great reader as.
Brother goes to leads. Everything about everything.
But the town maybe is, but it's about in terms of what we need to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was less than 5, right? It's not a lot. Yes.
Yeah, we reserved it.
What's the same?
So it's not like we're, I think anything, if we don't spend it, so, but I'd rather like go higher than lower.
You know, the animal trust that we can't spend.
Other than
except-
animal.
It's the one that comes from all the.
He's making second solutions on that.
After somebody.
You didn't know that. Actually, I remember hearing that. Oh, yeah, that's sort of. No.
Joe Brown's is a big game.
I don't know, it's iffy, right? Because.
We would have to. set up a- Something, otherwise that, cause.
Yeah.
Having. Charge 150. It's charged 100 and.
You look at the summer kitchen.
I know you never careful.
I know, 'cause then
Did a
it's.
lot, they open up a can of worms.
It's mellow, it's mellow. I just, somebody.
And use the trust though to do education, so you're talking about like educating the public. Definitely, could do.
We go up for you.
Years ago, we had a dog flyer about everything, we use that money, and we don't do it, I mean, that was a. We did it right before, right for 21, I mean, we could do something like that and add more information, I like. You really can, you see, there's so much information you have that, I don't know, and I think most of the public doesn't, and I think it's.
It's crazy in town.
Yes, yes.
Don't even.
Like, you gotta be able to.
Very unaware.
Want to know about the issues.
So years ago it was, and I, it was a, no, I know. Yes, it was, I have to look, because I don't remember, I didn't have a lot, and we really, our office was, I don't mean to, that's really, because it's really.